Birdie's just happy to be here.
It's no longer as warm as it was because he turned off the axe.
We're trying to return to our own realm. We're not from the Feywild originally.
He asks where you're from.
Prime material.
The other side of the veil.
Prime material. Sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh.
You spent the whole last campaign trying not to go to the prime material.
Yep.
He tells you that he too was born on the other side of the veil, but that was many years ago. And time, the years are tricky, passing back and forth. He says he hasn't returned there in many seasons because he's afraid that the world that he returns to won't be the same one that he left.
Well, I wasn't concerned about that before. Guess I'm a little concerned about that now.
Raazu nods.
Also, I want my breath weapon back.
He tells you that it's not his particular business to stop you from entering the Queen's realm. He's not her guardian. He just has essentially a safety accord with her. She doesn't touch his, he doesn't touch hers. As a matter of that accord, he's allowed to pass freely across the bridge. Since you have no such accord with her, you are being barred from passage. But as far as he knows, there's a mechanical workings to the portcullis on the second floor of the fortress. But he has not been up there in many years. He does not know what kind of state it might be in, nor will he allow you to pass the portcullis without leave from the Queen.
So he's saying he would stop us from leaving, or or is he saying he just won't open the way for us?
He's not going to stop you, but he's not going to help you get through.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just making sure.
He's happy to share what little warmth and conversation he has, but he can't go against the Queen.
Birdie pokes Red and asks him, he says, hey, get him to explain how to make the fire axe heat thing. That was cool. I want to know how to do that.
I guess I'll ask. My companion was wondering if you might share the incantation used to heat your axe.
He shakes his head a little sadly to your eyes. He said that he learned it from his brother Einir, who, last he knew, still lived beyond the veil, though he doesn't know if he still does.
So is that he can't teach me?
He just tells you where he learned it.
Einir.
Can't we learn it from you?
And again,
Red isn't actually going to translate that because, as far as he's concerned, he's already said no. So
okay,
but oh, okay.
So, let's see.
Birdie's a little pouty now. Like nobody ever wants to teach him the cool magic bits. He'll get upset when he drinks the potions.
Let's see, let's do something. Let's see about... I guess if... What can you tell us about the lands beyond? Like how far is it to the Queen's palace?
he tells you that he gives the palace a wide berth. He stays away from any of the settled lands. It's a frigid and unloving place that fire doesn't do well on the other side. Fires tend to go out very quickly. The winds bite bitterly. It's very reminiscent of the place where he's from across the Vale, high up in the mountains. But he tells you that provided you don't demand undue luxury, it's a simple and quiet life that one can cut out for himself on the other side of the gorge. Free from the intrigues and the japes of the denizens of the hedge.
Are there any villages other than the Queen's Palace? Any areas that people come together?
He nods. There are many villages, especially in the wooded areas. But the folk there are secretive and dangerous in their own way. And again, he gives them wide berth as well.
I'll be right back. I have to go use the restroom. I'm gonna pop out.
I just keep a jug under my desk.
And they're all the Queen's subjects?
Make a knowledge history check.
That would be a 14.
Okay. His answer is in a fashion. And what you take that to mean, judging by what you've seen in the hedge, is that probably the denizens of the realm pay lip service to the queen and try to not cross her path. But whether they're literal subjects is probably up for debate.
Okay.
So his answer is in a fashion.
Okay.
You definitely get the sense that he doesn't consider himself a subject.
Right. I was kind of trying to, tease out whether there are more people who, like him, just had a pact with the Queen of kind of mutual non-aggression, or if she actually could raise armies, levy peasants, that sort of thing.
He tells you that nearest to the gorge, you'll find small communities in the woods, firbolgs and elves and the like. If you go to the south into more mountainous regions, you'll find gnomes. There are very few folk like him in the hills. If you go far past the palace to where it gets even colder is where you'll start entering the realms of giants. He tells you there's also though they have no villages, they only live in or around the palace, the queen keeps close to hand a race of pig folk that he knows not to be native to the Feywild.
So they primarily serve as servants in the palace?
He says he doesn't know because he tries not to go near the palace. He just knows that when he does cross paths with these creatures in the woods or on the road, they're always dressed in the queen's livery, and he knows they're not fey creatures. They're like him from across the Vale.
When did you and the Queen make your accord? If you don't mind me asking, were you in her presence, or did she do it through an agent?
He says that he was very young, and that he did so on advice from his brother Einir. He was told when he first entered this realm to seek out the local lord, make his presence known, and make them know that his is a peaceful presence. And so he did.
And have you spoken to your brother since you've gone through the Vale, or?
He says he has once. He crossed back to the world that he came from only once in the many, many years. And that when he did, the young man his brother was when he left was now very old. And his fur had gone gray. And though he was still... the spark of life from his brother was still there, it saddened him to see how much time had passed.
We're going to leave here, and it's going to be 250 years. It's going to be awful.
Well, I mean, on the plus side, we won't have to deal with any of the problems that we were dealing with before.
No, they'll just be worse.
You'll have exciting new problems. Are you, like, discussing this with them? Not in giant.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think we're just talking in common amongst ourselves, unless he finds that to be impolite, at which point I might translate for him.
He doesn't. When he sees you guys talking amongst yourselves, he just kind of quietly retreats for the moment.
We need to get back to the other side. Sooner the better.
Sounds like we have to head up to the second floor then.
Yep. Can you tell us which where the village of the pig folk is?
Well, they don't have a village. They live in and around the palace. As the queen's, he always sees them wearing the queen's livery. So if they're not literally her servants, they're probably vassals.
Okay. All right then. That's all I got.
Yeah. I think I'll thank him for his hospitality, dust myself off, stand up.
Okay.
Well, seems like we're heading up to the second floor then.
Yep.
And as you all stand up, begin to take your leave, he, out of his pack, he unrolls a large fur bedroll and lays it out at the base of the stairs.
Sleep well.
So what's next?
Raazu's eyeballing that intersection up ahead.
Looks the same as when you left it.
Red will stop anyone before they step over the threshold. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Everyone get as close to someone else as you can. Grab hands. Birdie, why don't you get on Raazu's shoulder? And we'll just all move. We'll move. We won't run through it, but we'll all move at the same speed in line, so that if we end up on one or the other side of the wall, we're all on that same side of the wall.
I'm just thinking of a scene from Scooby-Doo. They're all just squished together, and they're all like sidestepping. Like, sorry.
No, that's good.
You dash across the intersection, and nothing untoward happens.
Right. We're supposed to be going south here.
Well, you didn't go south. You went east.
Yeah, well, somebody decided to go or grab everybody all at once and go.
Oh, sorry. I thought the way up was over here somewhere.
No.
They found stairs down here, and they found stairs right here, but these stairs crumbled when Birdie tried to... He wasn't exploring. He was desperately trying to get away from wolves that were trying to eat him.
Yeah, so we actually haven't looked. We haven't taken a good look at what's up here and over here, have we?
Raazu saw what was over here. It's just another kind of snowy platform snaking around this room proper.
Yeah, I didn't get a super good look at it, but
well, there was really nothing to see. It was just that's where that quickling ran to.
Yeah,
but he wasn't going to wait for you guys to come around. He was wolves are killing him. This is my opportunity. Those are fun monsters. I can't wait to use those guys again.
Destil, I'm gonna slap you.
Did we get a good look at what was up here, or I don't remember.
No, because the stair was crumbled and a big...
And I almost fell to my death. That's right.
And you didn't cross it again to take a look. And you weren't able to see what was really behind there because there were stairs in the way.
Oh, and don't look at this.
Yeah, don't look at that.
Oops, that's not me.
Thanks.
Red.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom
Here it
saving throw.
is. Here it is.
Is this against a spell or magical effect?
It's against a magical effect, I would say.
We totally warned him not to do that.
So that'll be a wisdom save of 22.
Okay? As you're coming around the corner, you just got this little overlook. What once was a room that has crumbled, and just the view of the gorge, the twilight coming from the top, and just the crystalline ice all around, strikes you as unbelievably beautiful and tantalizing. But just for a moment, you manage to shake off the effect. Everybody else is still immune to it from having saved previously.
Adrex and Birdie had a nice sit down and
Had a moment. They had a moment.
we had a moment. We put our arms around each other and we just stared off into the abyss.
So if you had failed that save a second time, which neither of you did, you would have just started throwing random gear off the cliff. And then once you were down to your bare ass, you would have jumped in after it.
And so tap 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 tap.
Good news about that is that I have 7 torches to roll in first.
I mean, I would have looked at your character sheet and just randomly picked something. So, maybe a torch? Maybe a sword? Who knows? Stepping up into this room, going up to the second floor up here. Very, very strong winds blow through the room as you come up the stairs. You see where the room is almost entirely collapsed, just leaving this snow pile here. And it looks like this particular pile never stays put for long. It almost has like a sand dune quality to it, constantly being moved and shaped by the winds whipping across the room through the 2 openings.
And these openings lead to a bottomless
chasm.
chasm, right?
Yeah, they drop away
Oh,
into the chasm.
Jesus.
Looks like
Okay.
I think you have to use a grappling hook.
And you can
across
see
the
the crumbled stairs that lead down on the other side. And
Yeah, let's make okay.
And
And
over here, along the wall, you see a large metal wheel kind of set into the wall. Partially, you can see the icicles hanging off of it. Looks almost like a ship's wheel.
Raazu points at that thing and like, ha! That's it.
what's it?
That's got to be it. That's got to be the mechanism with which to lift the portcullis.
All right,
Already,
well, before we do any of that, I don't want anyone falling into any chasm.
Birdie has an
Right.
idea. I have an idea. Birdie reaches
Okay.
into his pack and gets his rope out and ties it around his waist and hands the other end to Adrex, and then goes to cross this thing.
And Adrex looks at the end of the rope he's been given, and he says, "Yes, this was my idea."
Birdie, I want you to stop back here.
Okay.
As you're walking forward, is your idea to jump the gorge or to climb up over this little snow hill?
Climb up over the snow hill, and if I get like blown off or something, because I only weigh 25 pounds, you know.
Yeah, no problem. You feel and you hear a slight crunch under your feet. That's different from the snow that you've been walking through. And looking down, snaking all across the floor in this area, looks almost like spider webs. Kind of down, made on the floor. But they're not spider webs. Stooping down and looking, they're impossibly hair-thin strands of ice. And you just stepped on one and crushed it.
Pull me back, pull me back, pull me back.
Yank,
And he yanks you backwards.
dragging him across the snow.
What was it?
I don't know, but
Sounds like something gave way, right?
It didn't.
Did you step on something? Was it alive?
I don't know. I just felt like I was gonna get eaten.
I mean,
Where? I'll move over to like here and look down the edge of the gorge. I'm not in the snow pit here, right?
No, just these 5 squares here is where the
Okay.
snow's all piled up.
Looking down the edge of the gorge, how is it like super smooth, or does it look like there'd be enough handholds to climb?
And before that, when you get to this point and looking at the floor, you can see where these cracked web-like tendrils of ice are snaking. So Birdie stepped on one here, and it looks like cracks have broken them about maybe 10 feet in either direction. And very gingerly stepping over them, looking down into the gorge. This is just a jagged wall here. The ice and snow has crumbled away, and it's a thousands of feet drop to the gorge below.
Okay.
Raazu's looking
That
at
strikes
the,
you as very odd, because that should open into a room below you,
Right.
and it doesn't.
So what if we take the rope, we grappling hook the top of that wheel, and we just pull it from here?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're going to try to lasso the wheel or from here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult because there's strong winds blowing through here. It's going to be a ranged attack at disadvantage.
Okay.
I think that's Birdie's wheelhouse.
Yep,
What?
it is.
I mean, what check am I making?
Range attack. At
Yeah, it's going to be a
disadvantage.
ranged attack. Don't add your proficiency bonus because you're making it with a rope. And make it a disadvantage to get through the wind.
Okay, so that would be a 7 plus
7
4,
plus dexterity.
11.
11. Birdie, you take a couple tries swinging this lasso and try to throw it across the gorge, and each time the wind picks up the rope and throws it clear of the wheel. You drag it back in.
Mm.
And after a couple attempts, you realize this isn't going to work.
Does Adrex still have my rope?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna jump across.
All right.
Mm.
Wait. Raazu, do you think you can
What?
throw him that distance?
The range increment for a small character is 5 feet.
Let me make sure I got blips before we do any of this.
What's your Birdie? What's your strength score?
A
Alright, I
10.
got blips.
So you could jump a 10-foot gap.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, to throw a small character, the range increment is 5 feet.
Oh,
I found that out the other day in the rules. I thought that was amusing.
I don't know where that's written. I guess you can't toss a dwarf after all.
You can, but just 5 feet.
Only 5 feet.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can throw him 10 feet just at disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't want to walk on the mound because
The last time we messed with a mound, we got attacked by crabs.
I'm more worried about these fine crystalline.
Yeah, I'm
Ice
worried about
structures.
this stuff giving way and then and making it even harder to get across.
I mean, if somebody would rather throw me across, that would be funny, but otherwise I'm just going to jump, like, here.
Okay. Standing at the edge of the gourd, you can see on the other side more of these little web-like structures. They're very difficult to see because they're very clear, pale ice snaking across the icy floor. But now that you know what you're looking at, you can make them out. What this means for you is it's going to be difficult to jump across and not land on them.
I
your
have no
option
reason.
here is, do you jump and not care what you break, or are you going to physically try to not land on one of these?
I mean, I broke the other ones, nothing happened.
Okay.
Even though... So, at this point, it's just like, whatever.
That was just you stepping on them and like your full body weight lands on them.
Hey, you know what? That's why we have the rope. If something comes out just to bite me, Atrix can pull me back across the gorge.
I'm not worried about it biting you. I'm worried about it giving way and dropping you down into the abyss below.
Just right here, like partway through that sentence, we want like a Futurama-style time jump where suddenly Birdie's dangling down and Adrix is just the rope is slipping from his hands.
Yeah, Raazu is gonna step up behind Adrix, put an arm, loop another segment of rope around her arm, and
Okay.
to get ready to aid Adrix should the worst happen.
yeah.
So Birdie, you don't
Yes.
care about
No.
breaking.
No.
Okay.
So, make that jump, I
You
guess.
jump across, and as soon as you do, I mean, you feel a bunch of this web-like substance cracking under your feet. And now that you're on the other side, with the winds at your back, you can see on this side of the room, these web-like structures are much more dense. There's a lot more of them, and they all seem to coalesce on and around this giant wheel in the wall. And it's a good 10 or 12 feet wide. I mean, none of you are going to be able to get a hand on either side of this wheel. Obviously, this was made for creatures much larger than you guys to turn.
Birdie face palms and he yells back across the thing, "Throw me the other rope." Kind of forgot something. And if they do that, then I'll tie it to the other end over here, and I'll secure it.
Make a wisdom check, DC 10.
So that's a 16 plus 3, 19.
19? Okay. Looking at this wheel, you can see how the mechanism is partially iced over. If you're going to be able to turn it, you're not going to be able to get enough leverage by just lassoing one of these spokes and pulling it from across the gorge. Maybe with Raazu and Adrex each on one half of this wheel putting their back into it, you might be able to get it to start turning. First you got to break a considerable amount of ice off of it, either melt it or chip it away.
Are there cracks on the floor where you are?
Yes, I think so. He says they
Like
go
cracks,
all the
like
way.
broken parts of the floor, or the spider webs?
The webs.
Yes, all over the floor. And snaking up the walls, behind the wheel, and over the structure of the wheel itself.
Birdie shrugs and everybody else. What do you want to do now?
I think. I don't know what I think.
Adrex and
Either. Either we try to find something else, or all three of us run across at the same time.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, they're both bad ideas.
I have an idea. Birdie shoots a arrow into this.
Okay, and your arrow just hits softly in this mound of this loosely piled snow. And it just gets lost in there. It would take a minute or two to dig it back out. It does not penetrate through and come out the other side, though.
Raazu takes out a rope, ties it around her own waist, hands it to Adrex.
What the? I'm not an anchor.
It says,
Do we have pittons? I don't have a bark pit. I feel like somebody does.
Is there solid enough
Oh, yeah, I have
ice
pythons.
that would be able to put a spike on the floor?
You don't know if it will hold or not, because nobody's tried that yet.
Raazu, go down on the knee and try it.
Hey, where are you putting this spike? Show me on the map.
I'm gonna put it right here.
So you hammer it into the ice, and you manage to get it pretty snug. I mean, this ice is real solid. You're pretty sure if this was a wall you were climbing, the spikes would hold.
Okay. And then, so Raazu will then tie the rope, take the rope from Adrex, tie it to that python, and then
Just clamber up over the hill.
Yep.
And you do so. It's just like trying to climb up a very loosely packed snow hill. And you get to the other side. It just counts as difficult terrain.
Raazu takes out another python, spikes the floor here, ties the rope from her waist to the to the ground there.
Okay.
Calls out, says, "Hey, got a rope across now."
Red will go ahead and make himself a rope harness, tie it to the piton, and he will very carefully, taking each step to avoid stepping on any of these delicate pieces, make his way across.
Okay. Is Raazu being similarly careful, or does she not care?
Not really. She doesn't care.
Yeah, it takes some doing, especially considering you don't know what the web network looks like under this snow hill. But Rad, you gingerly make your way across, being careful not to step on the cracks as you go. So, Red's mama's back is fine. Adrex, what do?
Yeah, all right. Let's secure the rope. Inhale, and very, very gingerly make his way across, trying to cause as little damage as humanly possible.
And it's not as gingerly as when Red did it, because he's like a svelte, slender snake man, and you're this big, honking, clumsy dragon, but you don't break anything across. You're careful enough.
All right.
And
so
it's all
look at
snow
this.
over here, right?
Just this
What's
part in
that?
the middle is that once you get to the other side, it's the icy floors that you're familiar with.
But
When you
there's
guys
no,
get to
like,
this wheel, you can see if you manage to get this wheel turning, there's no way you're going to be able to protect the web structure connected to it.
Well, that's why we got our. Why we got our rope to it. Got a rope to get back across. Adrex, you wanna try and tag team this thing?
There's a passage. Is this the passage that goes somewhere?
You go and look down this. This is the stairway that
Leads up into the
Birdie
Fortress
collapsed
proper,
earlier,
right?
over here. Birdie tried to come up that way. So these stairs here are collapsed. But it's it's a 20 or so foot drop, but you're afraid if you start going down the stairs, the rest of the top part of them will collapse as well. And if that happens,
Ricker
it's
gets
probably not
happy.
gonna- Yeah, I'll be happy, but nobody else will.
If
So,
Rick
yes,
Can I get out my thieves' tools and use them to chip away at this ice before they get started on the wheel?
Probably not with thieves' tools, because you got like little wires and lockpicks and tweezers and things. But a
You don't think there's
crowbar
like a
or
scraper in there?
a crowbar, or any weapon. Yeah, you have a scraper, but I mean, you need to. Like, you wouldn't go in and like defrost your freezer with a scalpel, you know?
Okay. Well, I do have a crowbar as well, so.
Yeah, crowbar would be much better for the task. But you're
Yeah,
not gonna be able to
before
do
they-
this without disturbing the web.
Okay. Well, I mean, turning it's going to disturb the web anyway, so yeah, before they get started on the wheel, I'll start chipping away at the ice.
Okay, is anybody helping Red with this?
Yeah.
Raazu's got a crowbar. She'll help.
So the two of you get
If
the crowbars out, and you start hammering away at these chunks of ice. And as you do, the chunks fall away, and parts of the web break. And let's roll some initiative.
Saw that coming a mile away.
I've led you guys. Yeah, let's get a white one, actually.
Really? Hey, Brickroad, are you watching where I'm going to put my token?
Uh-huh.
Watch.
Uh-huh.
Boop.
Oh, you got up one. That's good.
Yeah!
It's okay, I also rolled a 1.
Nice.
But you didn't end up on 2, though.
No.
As you make a couple of these ice chunks fall away, and it does loosen the wheel ever so slightly. But after you've disturbed a good, probably 8-foot square portion of this webbing, going back and forth along the bottom and the sides of this wheel and where it connects to the wall, you see it snake away, as though it's all one large structure.
Uh-oh.
And it stays connected to the floors and the walls, but it's coming from every direction at once. It seems to encompass every part of the webbing you've seen. And you do see some of the snow pile also disturbed, as tendrils of it come snaking from the other half of the room. Birdie, you won initiative. Something terrible's about to happen.
Can I see what's coming towards us? Is it just the ground is moving?
It's all this webbing that was connected together on the ground and the walls, mostly concentrated at the wheel, but now that it's partially been destroyed, it's snaking from all areas of the room towards your location.
I don't really think there's anything I can do because I don't have anything to shoot. Let me see if I'm carrying anything. I'm not. No, I'm just going to. I guess I'll do a held action to see. Held action for somebody being attacked. To attack whatever's attacking us.
With what?
My short bow.
Your short bow?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What about Adrex?
So is the wheel still covered? Or is it all reseated? Or
You guys have done some work on it. More work needs to be done, but it looks like before you finish this job, whatever this web is going to do is going to happen.
actually no. Actually, yeah. Let's held action sounds like a good idea.
Okay, ready to action.
Ready to action. If something starts to attack, say, Raazu, I'm gonna hurl an axe at it.
Okay.
Probably
Need
lose
a
it forever.
Constitution saving throw from everyone.
Is this spell or magic?
It is not.
Ooh. I didn't flub that. Good job.
You're looking for 13.
Birdie
Red
pass.
passed.
Raazu failed.
Adrex passed.
Raazu.
24.
So you played Flumphscape with Nick for a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Were you ever on the receiving end of Riot's confusion spell?
Oh no, I haven't. I've never been.
From all directions at once, all of this webbing on the floor, under your feet, on the walls, on this wheel, a puff of what looks like bluish-white spores are emitted, clouding all around you. And 3 of you instinctively close off your mouth and nose and don't breathe them in. Raazu, you take a nice deep breath, and immediately you start hallucinating. Spotted elephants, flashing colors, weird sounds and smells all around you in every direction. So,
All right. So
on
I'm
your
opening up
turn, you will roll a d10 at the start of your turn to determine how you actually act that turn.
I've got the table open, so to streamline things a little bit.
And roll a d6.
D6, right on it, sir. 3.
3. Take 2 tokens out of one of these little bowls. Keep them handy.
Sure thing. It'll be black.
That's going to bring us to red. And these spores only hang in the air for a few moments.
I am going to untie the rope harness from around my body and move to here.
Okay.
That's the end of Red's turn.
And moving over there, I mean, that doesn't get you any further away from this webbing sticking all along the floor and the walls nearby.
Yeah, but it gets me away from the edge.
And that's going to bring us to Raazu. Why don't you go ahead and roll a d10?
Here we go. I'm not liking this. Not liking this at all. I use my action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. See,
No,
so
that's a 7 to 8. You rolled a 6. 6 is the creature doesn't move or take actions this turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misread the table. I apologize.
As the flashing lights and whatnot. Like, what are you seeing? What are you hallucinating?
The Aurora Borealis.
Wait a minute. At this time of day, at this time of year, in this part of the dungeon,
Localized entirely in this room. Yes.
Can I see it?
no. You passed your save. Oh, my favorite meme ever. Thank you for bringing it back. So yeah, Raazu's just standing there with this just dumbfounded look on her face, taking in the Aurora Borealis. Go ahead and throw one of those tokens away.
Sure.
It's gonna bring us to Birdie.
I'm gonna dig through Adrex's pants for that scroll again.
Okay, make that check.
Why didn't you take it before?
Because I didn't figure we needed. I got a 20.
A 20?
Yeah.
And you feverishly dig through his pants and you pull out that scroll.
That is a critical success.
Just
Critical pants!
like, I rolled so well on that. I got the Legend of Zelda. You got the thing jingle.
So which scroll are you trying to dig out?
The one for what is it? Something of Radiance. Sword of Radiance.
Word of
Yeah.
Radiance. Okay. Yeah, you find it in his pack. You now hold it in your hand. So next turn you'll be able to use it.
Yes.
Adrex.
Yeah, so
Before you take your turn, let me just clarify there. Digging an item out of your own pack, I count as basically a free action. You get like 1 item interaction. Because Birdie doesn't know where he keeps it and it has to root around without his cooperation. That's why I'm having him use that action to do that.
yeah, I totally understood that. That made sense to me.
Cool.
I'm just worried that there's an enemy here shooting spores and we can't see it.
Well, you can see it. It's all of this webbing everywhere. That's where the spores came from. It emitted from like kind of all directions at once. It's on the floor underneath you, on the walls, crawling and sliding around.
Yeah, but there's no like.
It doesn't have a big glowing weak point. No.
Yeah, there's no thing for Adrex to hurl an axe at, kill it. Unless, let me roll perception to try and find one.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
Come on, 20. Oh.
As a... that may be just an 11. 12.
A 12?
Yeah.
You don't see an obvious weak point. There's not like a big glowing eye that opens up for 3 seconds every attack phase. But you do notice there are dead parts of the webbing that's not moving. The places where Birdie stepped on and are broken off from the main mass are not moving.
Okay, so we have to destroy webbing. And Adrex says that. Destroy webbing!
I rolled a 4. Red.
Mm-hmm.
I have an 18,
That hits.
a 12,
Nope.
and a 17.
Yes.
Okay. This is probably a lot of damage. 14 from the first tendril.
Mm-hmm.
15 from the second tendril.
I'm gonna go ahead and uncanny dodge that one.
Okay. So that halves damage from it?
Yeah.
You weren't holding an action, right?
Nope.
Okay, good. As 2 of these tendrils snake off the wall and begin wrapping around you. The third tendril goes wide, does not connect, but you are grappled by the creature. So those of you standing by, I mean, Adrex looking around the room, looking for weak points, and Red, these tendrils just come straight out of the walls and floor. One loops around your leg, one around your chest, and more of these icy tendrils are kind of growing out from the center mass, across your chest and your legs, and up your haunch. And in a couple rounds, it's probably not going to be good for you. That's going to bring us to Red's turn.
Can I take my rapier and try and shatter one of the tendrils wrapped around me?
Yeah. You make an attack.
Is that an attack roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Battle at an armor class of, check that. Yeah. 13, or 23.
23? 23 will hit.
Okay. I'm just going to roll the flat piercing damage from the rapier, which would be 9.
9, and what's your passive perception?
Pretty high. 16.
16. You take your rapier and deftly swipe it down at one of the 2 tendrils holding onto you and manage to sever it from the main mass, and it goes dead. And you realize that when you do that, the little ice crystals that were forming off of the side of it also break and fall away from your body. So slashing the tendril off of you is a great idea. Using another form of attack against a tendril probably wouldn't be. You wouldn't be able to do that without damaging yourself.
Okay. I'm going to bonus action give Adrex advantage on his next attack against a tendril.
Okay.
And then I have no movement because I'm grappled.
Take 13 points of acid damage. You feel the places where this one tendril is still wrapped around your chest start to burn through your clothing and into your skin.
Does my reaction come back at the start or end of my turn?
At the start.
Okay, so I'll uncanny dodge that.
Okay.
I'm at 1 hit point.
That wasn't an attack roll. That just happens because you're grappled.
It's just uncanny dodge is damage.
Any kind of damage?
As long as I can see the thing damaging me.
Okay.
Really?
Yep. It's super good.
Trying to think of how you're going to dodge something that's touching your flesh already.
It's uncanny, isn't it?
Touche.
How many hit points do you have?
1.
1.
Ooh.
That's going to bring us to Raazu.
Here we go. That's a 9. I can move and act normally.
Yeah.
Let's
you
get away
can.
from the edge. That sounds like a very scary thing to have happen. So I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to chop at the other tendril that's got red grappled.
Okay, and your halberd is a slashing weapon, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a 23 to hit.
Will hit.
It's 10 damage.
10 damage. And you've slashed the other tendril. Being careful to aim at a point that's not going to cut Red. And Red, you feel this other tendril that's wrapped around your chest break and fall away.
So then I'm going to take
No
an
longer
extra
grappled.
attack. I'm going to take an extra attack. Except I'm not at the tentacly mass that's on the floor.
Okay. Just like
Yeah,
on
but
the
I'm
floor
not-
around you? Like one of the spaces
Yeah.
around you?
Yeah, but unfortunately I only rolled an 8.
8's not going to do it, but you left
Yeah.
a nice little cleft in the icy floor there. You've left your mark on the place. Go ahead and throw your other confusion token away. And
Okay.
you feel the hallucinations vanish, and the liquid metal polar bear you were just fighting is no longer standing there.
Okay, good.
It's going to bring us back to Birdie.
Okay, I'm going to. So where are their tentacles?
Everywhere.
Like-
Effectively everywhere.
Okay, so now here's the question: if I were to use this word of radiance thing, are the tentacles? Would you consider the tentacles to be individual targets, or would you consider it all one creature?
That's an excellent question.
That's the best answer. I love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to move here
Okay.
and then use the word of radiance scroll and target every tentacle within 5 feet of me.
Okay. And what does the word of radiance do?
You utter a divine word, and burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take the 1d6 radiant.
Got 11 on the saving throw.
It doesn't. Spellcasting is intellect, right?
Intelligence
Yes.
modifier.
Uses your
Yeah.
spellcasting mods.
So it'd be 10 plus my spell.
Well, I think it's 8 plus your proficiency plus intelligence modifier.
Yes, is your saving throw. Your spell.
Okay,
save DC.
so that would mean it is. You need to beat a 14.
I got 11.
Yeah. Okay.
So do the thing.
Oh, right. 2.
2 points of radiant damage.
Yep.
And all of the webbing that's snaking in towards your feet, following you as you retreat into that position, you just burn it away with radiant light. And the scroll is consumed in your hand and turns to ash. So let me mark that as used. Adrex, I hope you weren't saving that one.
Eh. I mean, he was rummaging through my pants. What am I gonna do? Say no?
It is Adrex's turn now.
What can I stab?
The floor.
Yeah, Raazu and Birdie were having decent effect just attacking these tendrils all around.
Yeah. Let's hack at him with some axe. I'm
Alright.
not throwing the axe.
You're just
I'm
going to use it as a
wielding
hand weapon? Okay.
as a hand weapon,
Gotcha.
which really doesn't change anything about me, other than instead of piercing, it's slashing.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a good decision.
Smartest thing Adrex has ever done. That is a 17.
That'll hit.
I think it's it's a 17. Like literally the same damage die and everything. For 8 damage.
Okay. Okay, you break some of the tendrils at your feet, the way you've seen Raazu doing.
I got another one of these. That's even more. That's an 18.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit.
That's 9 damage.
9 damage.
And I got an offhand. Why not? I have a pair of axes, so you know.
Just chop, 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 chop.
That's a 14.
14 doesn't do it.
No.
But as you're chopping these tendrils away at your feet, you're seeing large masses of the creature that snake up along the walls die as you sever their connections to the main center mass. And it's starting to look like the main center mass is getting much smaller. These few attacks you've made against choice areas of it have severed it from large pieces. However, it is still a threat. Raazu, we're going to have some fun now.
Yay!
I have a 21.
Yep.
I have an 18.
Yep.
And I have a 24.
Yep.
Here we go. First tendril. 17 bludgeoning damage. Second tendril. 10 bludgeoning damage. Third tendril. 16 bludgeoning damage. As all three of them wrap around your body. And again, just like with red before, you see the ice crystallize all over your armor. And you can feel it
there goes
starting
that
to
short
burn down your
rest.
skin. You still have hit points?
Yeah,
Oh.
barely. I can't take another one of those.
Alright.
Stop rolling so high, Brick Road.
Sorry. I mean, I could have rolled higher on the damage if you wanted. That's going to bring us to... Believe it or not, I actually toned this creature down a little bit. Because it's even crazier than this. It's going to bring us to red.
Alright, so when I stabbed it, acid went everywhere, right?
No, you felt the acidic burn because you ended your turn.
Oh,
still
shit.
grappled.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we know.
Let's go ahead and try and start severing them from Raazu then.
Using what? Your knife again?
Rapier. I'm gonna stab at the slice of the piece near the floor with my rapier.
Well,
It's coming out
rapier
of
is
the
a
floor, right?
piercing weapon, not a slashing weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then a dagger.
Okay.
You do get sneak attack with this.
So that'll hit an armor class of 18.
18 hits.
Can I sneak attack a tendril?
Sure. It's within 5 feet of an ally who's not yet incapacitated. Actually, this creature counts as being within 5 feet of everybody in the room, basically.
Look at that
For
D4.
12 damage?
For 12
What?
damage?
It's on the edge, literally.
Yeah.
That's great. And Raazu, one of the tentacles holding you dies. Falls away.
Yay.
Bonus action, give Adrex advantage on his next attack against one of the other tendrils.
Okay.
And just take a step back, really. That's it for Red's turn.
Okay. Raazu, it's your turn. I'm going to impose disadvantage on attacks with your halberd to free yourself because it's a reach weapon and you're trying to cut something right on your body.
It's the end of my turn, huh?
Right now it's the start of your turn.
Well, I mean, I take his damage at the end of my turn, huh?
I was really hoping I could engulf somebody with this thing while they were confused. That was my goal.
Okay. I gotta try and break these tentacles. Does you already said a 14. I'm gonna go ahead and channel divinity and turn that into a 24.
Okay. 24 does hit.
I'm gonna go ahead and also put some paladin stank on this because I need to get out of here. Let's see, that is 6 slashing damage and 10 radiant damage.
Okay, and one of the other tendrils dies and sloughs away. And at this point, the only web-like structures still moving are the ones directly at Raazu's feet that's tangled up around her leg, spreading out across her lower body.
So, could I maybe attack the center mass? Maybe I don't know. I can't
There is
take
no
that
more
risk.
center mass. The thing has 1 hit point left, and it's wrapped around your leg.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Then I have to roll at disadvantage. Then, hiya. The 9, which turns that into a 15.
15 doesn't do it.
Oh my god!
4 people can see you.
Blips.
Fail.
Use blips.
Yep. I'm
Use blips.
2 blips. 2 blips.
Use your thing first to get the +3.
Oh right. Yeah. No. That's right. That's right.
No, I totally am not on mute.
Ally bonus. Yeah. That's right.
You guys are expecting McDohl to remember what's on his character sheet?
God damn it. That's an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit. With the saving face, you manage to turn that miss into a hit.
Yeah. All right, and I hate you all. No, I love you all. You're all darlings.
Next time I'll let you die. Then
I love you all. You're all darlings. That's 6 slashing damage and 13 radiant damage.
And you hit the last piece of this thing with your halberd, put some Paladin stank on it, and it melts away. So now you still see the broken and shattered tentacles all across the room, this web-like structure if you're looking for it. But it's no longer moving, and it's shattered in many, many places all across.
Raazu staggers back against the wall, puts her back to it, and just closes her eyes for a few minutes.
So that creature, it's supposed to do a d8 acid damage anytime you attack it with a non-reach weapon. It's if you're engulfed by it, you're not allowed to get. You're not supposed to get any turns. You can't act. You can't attack while you're engulfed. And the engulf is supposed to do 5d8 damage instead of 3d8.
No.
At the end of your
no.
turn. And
No!
any damage done to it while you're grappled is split between the two of you, except for slashing attacks.
No.
That's a fucking monster right there, man.
No. Rick Road. Naughty.
where did the spores come from?
From the creature. That's one of its abilities. They can
Well, I
do that.
I'm just wondering if we should collect some of the spores. We could put it in a trap to make people go confused. That'd be funny.
They're inert now, but if you collect some and turn them over to Red, he might be able to concoct a poison with them. Like a confusion poison as a downtime action.
Sounds like fun. If he wants to do that, I'll help him.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you collect a vial full of... I mean, it's difficult work collecting the spores
Spores of
against the
agony.
snow, but...
I mean, it's
after
not
2
like
minutes-
it's not like either one of us have enough arm strength to move the wheel. So
All right.
But there's no more webbing covering this wheel.
Now that that's done,
my noodly
Raazu
kobold arms.
looks to Adrex and says, "Shall we?" She says a little bit of a little curtness in her voice.
I'm going to see if I can find an image of this creature to share with the class. So go ahead and make a strength athletics check. One of you make it at advantage because one of is helping the other.
That's you, Adrex.
It is a 21. It's 20.
A 20.
20.
Which way are you turning it, left or right?
Let's turn
I'm
it
gonna say-
clockwise.
Turn it clockwise.
Clockwise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it does not budge, no matter how much muscle you put into it.
All right, I guess we try it the other way.
Should we try counterclockwise?
Yeah.
All right.
You make that roll.
Do I need me? I go roll again? All right.
Come on, man. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Road. Why
That's
you do
enough.
this?
It's an 11.
An 11. You manage to get the wheels to start to move. Both of you take a level of exhaustion for the amount of strength required to get it moving. And as you do, the first turn of it is the hardest, and from there it gets a little easier. But you can hear something below you scraping metal against ice.
Raazu, once we turn it to the point where it can't turn no more, Raazu slams her fist into her palm and says, "Wonderful, let's go."
Don't believe you made me do that. Don't believe it.
Alright, so I guess we use the python and the rope and just kind of go back across.
Okay.
Fair.
I'll
Delicately.
retrieve my rope, pull along the way.
You guys collect
Yeah.
up all your lengths of rope.
Yep. And then back down.
We're still missing a chest, by the way. I don't know if anybody remembers. We have
Yeah,
an
the skull chest.
Well, we've looked everywhere.
No, we haven't. We have not. There's one
Where have
other
we
place we
looked?
haven't. We haven't really thoroughly explored the area around the this area right here.
This here?
Yeah. I think what we should do is we should carefully go take a look.
I don't like this area though.
Raazu, make a wisdom 10 check.
We know it's not up here because we looked down this way.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Like, we know it's not up there because that connects to... I should actually tab. This connects to this.
Let's
And we didn't see any, and we didn't see a chest
clarify
there,
again.
so-
Birdie tried to climb these stairs, but they crumbled underneath him, revealing the space on the other side. And nobody's been on the other side of that.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's kind of what I was getting at. Nobody actually thoroughly took a look at the landing below here.
Let one of the rogues go down there, and we'll tie the rope. That way, because
Let's let the strongest people hold the rope, and when the lightest rogues go and investigate.
yes.
By all means.
So I've got a rope tied around my waist again, and
Okay.
I've given it to the two of them to hold, and I'm going to go. So I've got 50 feet of rope. So 5, 10, 15, 20.
That should get you the free range of movement over there.
You clamber over the dilapidated stairs through the snow of them, and it's just getting on the other side. You just got this open platform, very close to the walls of the nearby corridor. You can almost reach. You can reach across and just put your hand flat against the outside of the fortress here. But the drop is no less steep and no less infinite.
So there's no chest. I feel cheated. Okay, we'll climb back across.
You come back across from the other side, like under where the stairs would have been. Rejoin your companions.
And I guess we go take a look at this corridor over here thoroughly, because that only got a goal. Didn't thoroughly look over here.
Okay. And this side, once again, you just see this crumbled landing very close to the outer edges of the walls.
Nothing.
No
nothing in
chests.
evidence.
Cool, let's get out of here. This area sucks. Let's go to a place with walls and floors, and we can't fall off to plummet to our death.
I tried really hard to make that happen.
I know.
What about?
And looking down the corridor now, you see the portcullis has been raised 5 or 6 feet off the ground.
Bully.
So who wants to go first?
I'll
I'm
go
not keen
first.
on getting squished.
Huh.
Raazu ducks her head down and goes under the portcullis, as does Red.
Yep.
Birdie doesn't need to duck his head down.
Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, Adrex falls to the floor and rolls. Actually tumbles across the snow.
Just goes, makes a link hit.
You look out of the exit of the fortress, and you see the open ice bridge leading the rest of the way across the gorge. Another
So you think the
half mile or so across.
You think the frost giants will spot us if we keep going across this bridge?
Well, they didn't harass
What's the
you when you
weather
were
like?
coming in.
They might harass us if we're going through.
What's the weather like out there?
Very, very windy.
But no
Bitterly
snow?
cold.
Wendy's not here.
No precipitation at the moment, no.
Okay.
But on the other side of the gorge, you got about another half mile or so across the open gorge with this 10-foot wide bridge, and I'm sorry, no, it's 40 feet wide on the
Okay.
outside.
That's workable.
But I mean, you've already crossed one of these bridges coming into the fortress from the other side.
Yeah, but that was before the realization plummeting of instant death.
I mean, the only thing here is I wouldn't mind a short rest, but I don't know about anybody else.
I literally could get nothing out of it, but
Well, I mean, I've got...
well, actually, I get my channel divinity and saving face back, but that's it.
That's not
I got a push...
Yeah.
I got a potion of healing you can take.
You
You
could.
can have it on one condition.
What's that condition?
Birdie has to fish through my pants to get it.
I thought you were an expert on elves, not kobolds.
Clearly, he wants to be an expert on kobolds now.
You. Okay,
I'm not having fun.
You
So,
could
do you want this potion of healing?
you could use your healer's kit on her too.
Yeah.
And doesn't that reset with a short rest? You could use it. We could have a short rest, and then you can use it again.
That seems kind of squirrely, I think.
A healer's kit, I believe you can use as part of a rest. Either that or healer's kit has a number of charges that has to be replenished.
Healer's kit has a number of charges.
Okay, so yeah, you can do that as much as you want, but you can't do it infinitely because eventually he's got to either go out and scavenge for more herbs and things, or he's got to replenish at a shop somewhere.
So, yeah, I can use it as I can spend an action to use it. Well, I will do that. So here, so I become the
Thank
party's
you.
healer somehow, some inexplicable reason.
It's
It
fine.
is 1d6 plus 4 plus additional hit points equal to the maximum number of your hit dice.
So
However-
5 plus
Yeah.
what?
5 plus 2 plus
5 plus 2 plus what?
4. So
4.
4.
So 11.
All right.
You've doubled my hit points.
You guys set out across the bridge.
Was that a rest or was that just an action?
It was just an action.
Do we want a short rest?
I mean, I could really use one, but I don't know, again, if nobody else wants
Short
one.
rest it is.
This seems about as secure as we're going to find for the immediate.
Yeah.
Out on the
Future.
open bridge, it's probably too perilous for a short rest, but in here in the corridor, next to the portcullis, it's relatively quiet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm
we'll
thinking.
do it.
Okay, go ahead and take
Alright.
the benefits of the short rest.
5d8 hit dice.
So
Just burn.
Raazu's just out of hit dice. No more?
Raazu is out of hit dice, yeah.
Oh.
Need a long rest.
That's not going to happen here. This
See, Brookroad, the problem is you're just like, no, let's just focus fire on the tank. Because why not?
what with the frost veil?
Just everything. Everything has been kicking Raazu's ass left and right in this place.
Frost veil is a mindless creature. I was rolling randomly to see who it hits.
Alright, well, that's all my hit dice.
Okay.
So, for what it's worth, you still got more hit points than I do.
And you guys can clear up a level of
want-
exhaustion at the end of the short rest.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
Do you want another hit from the healer's kit? That'll put me at
No, I'm
7.
pretty okay. I'm down 8 hit points now.
Rousey?
Anything you can give me would be much appreciated. I don't want to
Alright.
drain you, but
I mean, we won't be able to use it when we, have to traverse the bridge, so it's up to you. Like, you can use it now, and then we don't get anything, or hold it back, and...
let's hold off on it for a little bit.
Alright.
Okay. And setting off across the bridge, the other side of the gorge starts to come into focus. And it's just like the bearman described. It's an icy, frigid wilderness. There does seem to be a path that connects with the bridge at the far end of the gorge that continues on into the Snowbelle Queen's realm.
I do want to chastise you, Rick Road, for missing the obvious joke with the bear man. Not giving him a pet pig.
I don't get it.
Man bear
Me
pig.
either.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be
Oh.
kind of inappropriate given that, like, pig people are a sentient race in
Yeah.
this campaign.
Yeah, that's really insensitive, Treble. I mean, God.
You need to check your non-pig privilege.
What even does that mean? I don't know.
You're not a pig, so you're privileged. Have you ever been cooked and eaten in a sandwich?
Can't say I have.
To be fair, that is Birdie's greatest fear. So
Specifically a sandwich?
specifically, like a sub.
And arriving at the
Smeared
other
with
side of the
mayo,
bridge,
lettuce,
you begin to enter
pickles.
the realm of the Snowbelle Queen. And that's where we'll take our break for today. 4:30 on the dot. Could not have timed that out better. Good job, everybody.
Hooray!
So I have a roast beef sandwich. today, and I'm going to go eat it.
I got shit in the slow cooker. Mm-mm.
We'll reconvene at 4:45. Get your coffee, get your bagel. Be back in a few minutes.
Get my bagel. I told you.